the soil is the focus. So if you get your soil right, then your plants are going to be right. Good morning. Welcome to another beautiful sunny day on Boisterous Cock Farmstead. I have Asher out with me, and we were just doing our morning walk, and I wanted to do a follow-up for a previous video that I had done here in the grasture area and highlight what one of the breeds of pigs that I have and why I got them does for me. So this is Pumpkin. She is a 3/4 Duroc, quarter blue butt, and if you don't know what blue butt is, it is a half Yorkshire, half Hampshire hybrid cross. So she is two different types of hybrids essentially, but what she is more of a rooting breed than, say, my American Guinea Hogs. I can generally put my Guinea Hogs out in this area, and as long as there's a couple inches of leaf matter, they generally will go and clip and graze the grass. If they're low on nutrients or something like that, they may start to till a little bit. If it's been raining and the soil's really wet, then they will also till in that instance as well. But I wanted to show you just what an afternoon of having that one particular sow in this area did. Over here, this was an area that my chickens would come in and they would dust bathe in here, but it was nowhere near as torn up as this is. So we've got this particular area here, this area right here. There was some light disturbance along here, and then also this area here. Now, what I think she was doing was she was digging out the rhizomes for the creeping type of grass that's in here. So you can see there's some of these, and these are kind of the sacrificial grasses. These are kind of the sacrificial grasses, the ones that get turned up and they die as part of the process. But hopefully you're encouraging more of the rest of the grasses to come through. But if you look at this, now this was hard packed soil when I first planted this, and I have added a little bit of manure just to kind of get some organic matter. There's me coming in the shot. Just to get a little bit of organic matter on the top of the surface, so that when there is water, that it can actually retain some moisture and allow the roots to feed a little bit longer and hydrate a little bit longer than it was able to before. So now, instead of like being rock hard, and I'll show you an area that is untouched or uncultivated or whatever, but instead of, and there's some of those root runners there, instead of it being rock hard, I can actually dig down just with my hand and light disturbance a couple inches, and it's nice and fluffy, and that that is the soil that you want, because that's what all the little microorganisms and bugs and all the good biodiversity, worms, things like that, that get in there and live in the soil and help to feed your plants or grass or whatever you've got planted. And we'll go over, I'll show you an area over here. Now, just in this same little paddock here, this area here is outside of the reach of the sprinkler, and I can only go down about an inch or so, and then it's just hard pack. And so there is a little bit that just having the broken down material, the pigs will come over here and they'll turn that up a little bit as well. But in the 2 years that I've had this area designated and fenced off for my pigs to use and my chickens to come through and till and whatnot, and I get some wild rabbits and stuff that come in here and they'll feed on the grass, and they're kind enough to deposit their manure periodically. Mishka. But this is essentially what this started out as. Is this right here, where it's just dry, all cracked up. There's no material to speak of, really, organic material to speak of, to allow any kind of moisture to be retained. And so obviously this is the most extreme example, because there were tumbleweeds, there was some natural vegetation in there. And I'll show you, I'm walking over onto my neighbor's property right now, and I'll show you how there can be big dry patches and then there's vegetation. So here we've got, and there's been hardly any animals. Early in the year I had my pigs grazing, and you can see there's some traffic over here, but over on this side they haven't really touched a lot of it. And granted, he's got a big field, but all throughout this center area here is just dried up, crusty. We didn't really have a very good rain season this year, and in the summertime at least. It looks like we're gonna have a little bit more of a wet winter, which is kind of what we had last year, but we still did get some good fall rains. And the ones that we have had this year haven't really been like gully washers or anything like that. So that is kind of what the starting point for this pasture, or this little grasture paddock, was 2 years ago, and how there has been some progress. But you can see, even still, there's a lot of area that either the seed was stolen, or in some cases I actually did mix a bunch of annual seed, like the wheat, and I had some oats and barley and milo, which is Sudan grass. It's the grain for Sudan grass, and that was all kind of mixed in here. And that grew up and then it died, and then so it wasn't any kind of regrowth that was going to happen from that. But with the organic matter that fell in place, and in some cases a little bit of seed, that also helped to facilitate that organic matter in the soil and to be worked in. And that's what my pigs are doing for me. I don't have a lot of equipment or anything like that. That mower and the rake, that riding mower is the only real, that's the only rideable equipment that I have. And I've got a couple small engines here and there for specific purposes. I've got a chainsaw, I've got a gas powered string trimmer, and it has some hard blades on it as well. But I just wanted to come in and show why I'm using that breed, but also why I don't keep that breed in particular, on that paddock constantly. If because of the small area that it has, and because of the time of year it is right now, she would tear that whole thing up, and she would just flip a bunch of grass, and it kind of seems like there's no rhyme or reason what she's doing. So I put her in there for my benefit. If she gets a little bit of feed benefit out of it, that's good too. But for the most part, it is to just kind of encourage her to dig a little bit, and then I give it a rest period of a couple weeks or more, depending on how it bounces back, and then I can let her back in there, and hopefully the cool grasses will actually start coming in and getting some decent height to it. But for now, it's been, I don't know, it's been a month or so since I've cut that. I think something like that, 3 to 4 weeks since I've cut that grasture area, and there really hasn't been much growth. Now I do have chickens that go in there. There's about, I don't know, 16 or 17 chickens that can get over that fence and come back and forth freely. And so then they go over there and they scratch around, and like I said, there's rabbits that come in there, there's mice and whatnot that come in there. So I don't know what all feed the wild animals get from that little area there, but the soil is the focus. So if you get your soil right, then your plants are going to be right. So that is my focus, is I'm doing it in a small scale on that little paddock there, and some of the same ideas that I'm using and learning over here, I'm going to try to roll out into larger areas, and we'll see how that goes over the years. So please stay tuned. Please like this video if you found it useful or entertaining or anything like that. Please share this video with anybody that you think might actually be interested in something like this, and please subscribe to our channel so that you can see as that larger pasture experiment continues to unfold, what the results are. I don't have a crystal ball. I have ideas that I think might work, but until I implement it and learn from that, we'll just have to figure out. So please join us on that, and also you can keep up with the improvements that we're doing on the old farmhouse here. And also how Asher's doing. How you doing, buddy? Huh? You say hi to the camera? You say hi to the camera? Is it ready? This is our pre-nap routine, is go out and kind of have a little bit of sun time, a little bit of breeze, a little bit of fresh air, see some animals, and then get ready for a nap. Ha! What do you say? You ready for a nap? All right. So, as always, thanks for joining us, and until next time, God bless.